The Buffalo Bills are staring down a massive opportunity this Sunday, a chance to go 4-0 and keep their early season momentum rolling. But that dream could collapse if three major problems aren't addressed before kickoff against the New Orleans Saints. If these issues linger, Buffalo's winning streak might end sooner than fans expect. Before we break down what's at stake, make sure you don't miss any breaking Bills updates. Before listening to the latest news, subscribe to the channel, like it, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Let's move on to the new news. 1. Run defense, the Achilles heel that won't go away. The first and most glaring issue is something Bills fans know all too well: run defense. It's been Buffalo's kryptonite for years, and 2025 is proving no different. Despite a strong 3-0 start, the defense is still surrendering massive chunks of yardage on the ground, a troubling sign for a team with championship ambitions. The numbers tell the story. Buffalo is allowing 6.2 yards per carry, the worst mark in the entire NFL. Opponents are exploiting gaps at the line of scrimmage, turning simple handoffs into game-changing plays. Week 1 exposed the problem in dramatic fashion. Baltimore's ground attack, arguably the best in football, bulldozed the Bills for 8.2 yards per rush, dominating the trenches from start to finish. Yes, Buffalo's defense managed a few key stops and even forced a fumble from Derrick Henry, but for nearly 90% of the game, they were physically overwhelmed. Week 2 wasn't much better. While Breece Hall didn't explode statistically, Justin Fields' mobility and Tyrod Taylor's scrambles kept drives alive and extended plays. The result? Another 4.8 yards per carry allowed, even in a comfortable 30-10 victory. And the pattern continued in Week 3. Facing the Dolphins, Buffalo's front seven once again struggled to control the ground game, giving up 5.2 yards per attempt. These aren't just empty stats, they're red flags that smart opponents will exploit, especially a Saints team that loves to lean on its running game to control the clock. If the Bills don't tighten up in the trenches, their undefeated record could be gone by Sunday night. Buffalo Bills' next big test: controlling the clock and winning third downs. The formula for beating a great team is simple: control the clock, run the ball, and keep their offense stuck on the sidelines. And that's exactly the danger the Buffalo Bills face heading into their matchup with the Saints. If Buffalo's defense continues to give away long possessions, their shot at a Super Bowl run could slowly slip away. The math is straightforward. When opponents run the ball successfully, they dominate time of possession. And when Buffalo's defense is on the field too long, mistakes pile up, fatigue sets in, and games become a coin flip. We've already seen it this season. Even when the Bills win, it often comes after their defense is gashed for big chunks of rushing yardage. Now, the Saints aren't the league's most dangerous rushing attack, but they have something working in their favor. They face light defensive boxes from most opponents, giving Alvin Kamara room to create in space. Buffalo, on the other hand, has been loading up the box, and yet, the results still haven't been impressive. That's a troubling sign. One way the Bills can counter this problem is by flipping the script. If Buffalo controls tempo offensively, pounds the ball on the ground, and forces New Orleans to speed things up with the passing game, the Saints won't have the luxury of grinding out long drives. The Bills' secondary has held up well, but it can't carry the load if the front seven keeps breaking down. There's also the issue of living dangerously. Buffalo has escaped more than once this year by forcing a late turnover or delivering a game-swinging play at the last possible moment. That's thrilling in September, but come December and January, those close calls can backfire. You can't rely on miracle endings every week. And that leads to the second major problem Buffalo must fix: third down defense. Too many drives are being extended by poor execution in key moments. It doesn't matter how explosive the offense is if the defense can't get off the field. The truth is, Buffalo's offense is firing on all cylinders right now. Josh Allen and company are moving the ball with ease. But if the defense doesn't tighten up, especially on third downs, the Saints could drag this game into the kind of grind that neutralizes the Bills' biggest advantage: their offensive firepower. Buffalo Bills' third down crisis. The final obstacle standing in the way of stopping the run is the first problem and controlling tempo is the second, then the third down defense is the biggest red flag of all. And make no mistake, if the Bills don't fix this, it could cost them games they should win. Here's the harsh truth: outside of Week 2 against the Jets, when Buffalo completely shut them down, 0 for 11 on third downs, the defense has been the worst in the NFL in this category. Through 3 weeks, opponents are converting nearly 70% of third downs against the Bills. That's an alarming number. Just look at the breakdown. The Dolphins went 10 for 15 on third down. The Ravens went 7 for 10. And even when Buffalo did force stops, opponents cashed in on fourth down, going 2 for 2 in those situations. That's not just bad, that's unsustainable. You simply cannot win consistently in this league if you can't get off the field on third down. What makes it worse is that the problem isn't tied to just one area. It's not just the pass rush. It's not just the secondary. It's a combination of breakdowns, poor tackling in space, blown coverages, and quarterbacks having way too much time to scan the field. Opponents are exploiting every weakness, and Buffalo's defense has yet to show it can respond. Head coach Sean McDermott has already acknowledged the problem. He knows it's not about one fix but about the entire unit working in sync. The defensive line needs to pressure quarterbacks without overcommitting, the secondary needs tighter coverage, and above all, the Bills need to tackle better in the open field. Too often on third and long, a ball carrier slips one defender and moves the chains. That has to end. Defensive coordinator Bobby Babich echoed the same concern, admitting that better play calling and sharper execution are required. He was blunt, all 11 defenders need to do their jobs in unison if Buffalo wants to slam the door on drives. The good news? The Bills have a chance to fix it this week. Playing at home in Highmark Stadium, with the energy of the crowd behind them, the defense should have the extra push needed to create momentum-shifting stops. The Saints bring speed and versatility, but if Buffalo sharpens its fundamentals and wins those money downs, they'll be in control. Bottom line, Buffalo's offense is elite and capable of carrying the load, but if the defense keeps bleeding on third down, that perfect record won't last. The path to staying undefeated runs through tougher tackling, better coordination, and shutting the door when it matters most. Buffalo Bills must regroup. Final fixes before the Saints showdown. The frustration inside Buffalo's locker room is real. Veterans like Taron Johnson and Terrell Bernard have already voiced how fed up they are with the team's defensive struggles on third down. They know it, fans know it, and the coaching staff knows it. This is the one weakness that could derail an otherwise dominant start. The good news? This week offers the perfect chance to get things trending in the right direction. The Saints' passing offense has been one of the league's least effective units. They lack the firepower to consistently push the ball downfield, which means Buffalo has an opportunity to reset and build confidence. The approach needs balance. Against Miami, the Bills' secondary often played too soft in coverage, giving up easy completions underneath and letting drives extend. Against New Orleans, the defense must strike the right middle ground, keeping everything in front of them while still being aggressive enough to prevent long, drawn-out possessions. This game can be the reset button. By tackling well in open space, staying disciplined on third downs, and tightening up communication, Buffalo can turn what has been a glaring weakness into a source of momentum heading into the tougher stretch of their schedule. And now we reach the last problem Buffalo needs to fix, one that fans might not think about as much but still matters: special teams, specifically punting. It may sound strange to criticize a 3-0 team with one of the most explosive offenses in the league for punting issues. But when drives stall and the Bills need to flip field position, their punting game has simply not been reliable enough. Special teams can often be overlooked, but in tight playoff matchups, the hidden yards battle decides outcomes. If Buffalo can't pin opponents deep or cover punts effectively, it gives opposing offenses too many short fields, something the Saints or any contender can exploit. The Bills are loaded with star power. Josh Allen and the offense are firing. The defense has playmakers at every level. But football is about details, and those details matter most when the margins are razor thin. Run defense, time of possession, third downs, and yes, even punting, all need attention if Buffalo wants to transform a hot start into a legitimate Super Bowl run. This Sunday, the Saints provide both a challenge and an opportunity. Buffalo can either let their flaws linger, or they can use this game to prove that their perfect record is no fluke. Buffalo Bills' final concern, special teams and the punting problem. Let's be honest, punting probably won't decide Buffalo's season. This team is too talented to let one weakness completely sink them. But when you're chasing a Super Bowl, every detail matters. And right now, punting remains one of those small cracks in the armor that could become costly in the wrong situation. Through 3 weeks, the Bills have already shuffled things around. They cut Brad Robbins after Week 1 and brought in Cameron Johnston to stabilize the position.